Hey guys, what's up? Dane down here at ZIMM'S Guitars, down here in Mesa, Arizona. And I want to show you guys some of the new stuff I got. So that's part of my big reason for live streaming. I'm down here at my shop, and it is a Friday afternoon, a little bit after 2 o'clock on a Friday, and today is May 17th. And my open sign is on, and it is lit up, and I am open for business. Albert, how you doing, man? Thank you for coming in yesterday. Sean, greetings to you, Sean. So a little guitar that I got, it's the Gretsch Jim Dandy. It is a beautiful day down here in Phoenix. Now, here's the thing. My air conditioner at the store is turned off today. It's getting a little bit hot. It says it's about 85 degrees in here. But I got my front door open, I got my back door open, and I got a fan in each door. So we're getting a little bit of airflow. So I'm trying to save a little bit of money on that electric bill. If I can keep that thing off, if some customers come in here and they start browsing some guitars or doing some other stuff, I will run over and kick the AC on real quick. But if I'm sitting here by myself, I'll leave it off. It's a game of pennies, right? Albert works in a kitchen. Great Italian food place downtown downtown Gilbert. Albert, what's the name of your restaurant? So this is a little Jim Dandy Gretsch. And it's a fun little guitar. It's very small. I think they're $150, $160 guitar, maybe $199 at the highest retail price. And again, I got this one used from a good friend of mine, and I put new strings on it. Nico Heirloom Kitchen in Gilbert, Arizona. My buddy Albert is part owner, I believe, and he is the chef over there. And if you want the best Italian food in Arizona, he's even been featured on, I think, ABC 15 News. Is it Channel 10 News? But I've seen him on the news. And he came in here and bought a little Marshall DSL-5 from me yesterday. Albert, what's your thoughts on that Marshall that you bought? It screams. Great tones for a little amp. Yeah. So Marshall DSL-5, little 5-watt amp. And the Marshall stuff, I actually have a Marshall Class 5 down here. And I also have one of the brand new JCM 800s that it's a consignment piece, but I have a brand new JCM 800, one of the little 20-watt ones that just was at NAMM, this winter NAMM. Nice guy, Eddie. You made it. Thank you for being here today with me. Rico says, hey, Dane, Good to see your live stream. You buy any more Chapmans this week? No? I've got 3 Chapmans though. And I'm addicted to buying these Chapmans. I probably should slow down a little bit. But I've got this one, which is the ML3 Modern. And I bought this thing used off of Reverb. And the string height is super low. I don't know if you guys can see that. But this baby, this thing plays like a dream straight out of the box. I do. I've got Chapman fever. And you know, I made a YouTube video about a year ago when I first heard that Chapman Guitars was going to be sold out of Guitar Center. And I was kind of thinking to myself, man, there's going to be walls and walls of Chapman guitars at every Guitar Center location. And the whole market is going to be oversaturated within a year or two, where everybody's going to have a couple Chapmans. I was kind of thinking it was going to be like the Mitchell brand, you know, that Guitar Center sold and they never went anywhere. And everybody just kind of hated them. Although they were quality guitars and they had some cool features about them and stuff. But they just totally bombed. And I was a little worried that the Chapman brand was going to do the same thing. But they're only available in you know, certain neighborhoods where you can get yourself a Chapman hanging on the wall. You have to custom order them. So they are still hard to kind of come by. But I love my Chapman. Back to work, Albert. Thanks for coming in yesterday. Nice guy Eddie wants to buy my MXR pedal. Let me grab that for you, Eddie. So he's been saying, turn that down. He's been saying, hey, I need the MXR dime distortion. So I have one right there. This is going to get shipped out to Eddie. I can see it's kind of dusty. But this takes the 18-volt power cord. And I don't have one of those. So it's going to be up to you to get your own power supply for this thing. But this is the one that I am going to send you. It's got the little rubber feet on it, and it's missing a little rubber foot there. So anyhow, Eddie, that will soon be yours. I will put it in a box, and I will ship it out to you. The Dime Distortion MXR. I probably should have cleaned it up a little bit first. And but there you go, man. It's on its way. Arizona Kelly, how you doing? Hello from Goodyear, Arizona. So that's west side. I'm kind of over here on the east side. I'm an east side. Marcel Blade, greetings. How are you doing? Yeah, so the story on this little thing is I'm in a used guitar shop. I gave a guy $75 for this guitar because he's a customer of mine. He's in here all the time. And I have this, and I put a new set of strings on it. And I have this thing priced at $100. So your profit margin isn't always a ton of money. But you know what? I consider some of my customers to be friends of mine. And so I want you guys to know I got a little Gretsch, the Jim Dandy, brand new set of strings. And I'm going to maybe make $20 on it or something. But that's the nature of the beast. Let me show you this thing. We spin around like this, so my cord doesn't get all tangled up. But this is one of the new guitars that I got. And this is a GJ2 Grover Jackson. And look at this thing, right? This is the Greenie Meanie. Let me see what she sounds like. Nice Guy Eddie says that Bullseye Les Paul is my favorite new guitar. Eddie, I'm glad I was able to get that over to you, and I'm glad it all worked out. Nice Guy Eddie, what's in there for pickups? Well, I did get a pickup the other day. Let me see if I can. Let me show you this pickup that I got the other day. I don't know if it'll work in your Epiphone or not, but it is the Seymour Duncan, and this is the Antiquity. And it says it's got the little pouch right here that it came in. It's been signed on the back. It's got the sticker. It's got the box. And somewhere in here, I thought I saw a little tag. Yeah. The little tag says it ohms out at 8.44. K. 8.44. So that's not a bad number to have in your bridge position. It's labeled bridge. So yeah, I got this the other day. And I gave a guy $75 trade-in value for this. So any little potential profit would be fine. But it's kind of the old, looks like it's sort of almost a relict, older looking pickup. So I do have that as far as a bridge pickup. I'm not sure if you want to put that in your Zach Wild or not. It's maybe not hot enough for your Zach. And those EMGs that you have in there are great pickups. Sean Zimmerman. Hey, Zim. We share the same last name. That's cool. More Zimmermans out in the world, right? There's a girl that is here in town, and her name is Lisa Zimmerman, and she is no relative of mine, but she's a bass player, and she's in an AC/DC tribute, or at least she was, and so there's some Zimmermans around. Rico says, I just saw one of those on Reverb for $9.99. So I think he might be talking about this GJ2. So, yeah, I kind of maybe thought this one was maybe a little closer to $1,400 or $1,500, but I'm not sure. All right, messing that all up. But yeah. I want to grab a set of Seymour Duncan, a whole lot of Bucker set for my Les Paul Traditional. Do you guys see the video that I made yesterday? The band Lamb of God, May 2nd, played a gig here opening for Slayer. I think they were kicking off their world tour here in Phoenix. And I didn't go to the show, but I heard that a couple of their guitars got stolen. And so I tried to make a fun little video about it yesterday. And, you know, I put some Beavis and Butthead stuff in the video. And hopefully those guys will get their guitars back. But yeah, I made a fun little video about Lamb of God and their guitars getting stolen. All right, so this is a PRS SE Santana. And this is a pretty guitar. It's true. Instrument and motorcycle thieves are the lowest form of life. Yeah, the one guy stole Lamb of God's guitar, and then he put it on OfferUp. And so, yeah, not a very smart thing to do. How many PRS fans we got? Anybody into these things? This one has the birds, the Santana model. Nice condition. And one thing that I noticed is that the trem bar really smooth. Really nice. So yeah, my PRS SE Santana. What do you guys think about these things? Any thoughts? Rico, yeah, my son helps me do the editing. And one of the guys that was arrested kind of looks like Beavis. And I'm like, and my son helps me do all the editing. He does all the editing. And his name's Brighton. And I'm like, Bri, that guy kind of looks like Beavis. Maybe you could get some Beavis and Butthead clips and you know, put Beavis in there going, yeah, cool. And my son, who's 23 years old, he was like, oh yeah, breaking the law. So that was my son's idea, to put some Beavis and Buttheads. And we found a little clip where all the where the cops come busting in looking for stuff. So you know, it was a fun video to make. I'm a little tiny bit worried that the three guys that got arrested are going to get out on bail and they're going to come and beat me up for making fun of them. But I'm going to be like, come on, guys, have a sense of humor about this. Okay. Matt says, sounds good, Dane. Wish I could pop in more, but I'm up in Flag. Matt, did you come down here? Have you been in my shop? Because I remember a couple of guys that drive down from Flagstaff, and they're out on guitar safari. So you drive from Flag down to Phoenix, and you go through Bazaar Guitar. You maybe hit some of the guitar centers. You come through ZIMM'S Guitars. There's probably at least a half a dozen shops in town. But I think I might have sold you a Roland. Do you remember the old Roland? What was the amp? The 120? Oh yeah, so you were the one that bought McKnight 6505 that I had down here. And then you came one time with all your friends. I remember you, bro. Rick, how you doing, man? Rick Hyatt. Jerry, howdy. Thanks for being here. Nice guy, Eddie. Bedtime bag pedals going to sound great with that Les Paul through my orange amp. Bedtime bag pedals. Guys, the other day I talked to that YouTuber Guitar Hack. Did any of you guys watch his stuff? He was live streaming yesterday. But maybe I'll do. I haven't gotten to the point where I started doing the Google. What do you call it? Where you chat, the Google Hangouts. But I talked to Guitar Hack about maybe doing a Google Hangout, and that'd be kind of fun to have some other people come on, or maybe participate in somebody else's channel. I don't know if I'm worthy. Spell check, yeah. So I went to an open mic night last night, and I tried the Gary Moore song. And the guys in the band, it's an open mic. It's like karaoke. So it's like karaoke, but it's a live band. And the keyboard player is a friend of mine, and he lets me play his guitar. He's a keyboard player, but he has a guitar there in case there's a song that doesn't have keyboards. So he let me do the Gary Moore. We worked on the... And I'm not that familiar with that song. When I was out at NAMM earlier this year, Winter NAMM, I went out to Anaheim, and there was a big stage out front of the place, the Anaheim Convention Center, and there was a bunch of old rockers up there, and they did that Gary Moore song, I Still Have the Blues for You, and I was really up close, and I was checking it out. And Sean McNabb from Rough Riot, he was playing in the band up there, and they did that song, I Still Got the Blues for You. And that has been my favorite song now since, late January. And so I'm trying to learn that song. For some reason, I kind of missed out on it. You know what I'm saying? It's always cool to go back and listen to some of these old tunes that... old songs that you missed out on. And so right now, my favorite song is I Still Got the Blues for You. So I go around to different open mic nights, and I try to do that I try to do that song. Roland, how you doing, man? Roland says, hey, Zim, love the vids, mate. Got some sweet stuff. PRS sounds awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. It's I love the color. It's that lemony sunburst. No, it's not a sunburst. It's that lemon. What do you call this model? It's the Santana, but what do you call this color? I would call it like a lemon. It's not a lemon burst, but it's nice, bright, beautiful looking. Gerald Johnson, San Antonio, Texas. So we were talking about all the rain in Texas. I heard something like it would rain for 2 weeks over in Texas. And we kept getting some clouds. And I'm like, oh, all that rain's going to come over here to Phoenix. But none of it ever happened. Dry Heat 480. How you doing? Yeah, Guitar Hack is a cool guy. I watched his live stream yesterday for a few minutes, and I think I saw you on there. And yeah, maybe I'll do a Google Hangout with those guys. There's a couple of the very small channels that I watch. I watch Dave's Guitar Channel, and I think he's over in Jersey or someplace, but that guy plays really, really good. He did this thing about Led Zeppelin's top 50 songs yesterday. And so if I could Google Hangout with him, that would be a lot of fun. Of course, Guitar Hack would be a lot of fun. Maybe Ben Combs or Coombs, however you pronounce his name. Yeah, and I also watch Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He's a luthier, a Canadian guy. Everything, you don't see his face very often, but you see the guitar. And I love the camera work where you're just down looking at the guitar. And Santana Yellow. Is that what it's called? Santana Yellow. But I watch Dave's World of Fun Stuff. And I'll set pickup height, and I'll just kind of look at him. And I'll say, oh, yeah, that looks pretty close. I guess this could probably be brought up a little bit. You know, you never want your strings to hit that, so you don't want to bring it up too much. But Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He's got a tool for everything. He'll stick a little tool down in there, and yeah, he doesn't eyeball anything, which I think is a good way to go. He's got a tool for everything, and I've learned a lot of stuff watching his channel. It's good. It's relaxing to watch Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He puts you in a nice, relaxed mood. Yeah, he's got a tool for everything that he does. He has a tool. And he's kind of funny about how he does repairs, because it takes him a half an hour to get the strings off the thing. He looks at every aspect of that guitar, and he's checking his string height, and you know, he'll put his capo right here, and he'll hold down here. He'll run his little gauge through there, his feeler gauge, to see exactly where he's at. And it takes him a half an hour to take the strings off of something. And I'm like, I would have had the strings off. That's the first thing you do. You just rip the strings off of it. No, I try to be more delicate than that. But you loosen the strings nice and slow. You cut them off. I've heard the thing that where if your guitar is in tune and you just take your wire cutters and you cut those strings right off, sometimes that instant shock on the neck maybe isn't so good for your truss rod. So, yeah. When you're working, most of the work that I do on the guitars are the guitars that get traded in. And so they belong to me. And so I treat my guitars sort of like they're my guitars, even though my goal is to resell everything that comes in. There are some that I keep. But yeah, if it's a customer's guitar, I'll be super delicate with it, and I'll treat it like God. But the stuff that's my guitars, I don't want to scratch guitars, but sometimes little scratches don't bother me very much. But I'll never purposely scratch a guitar just out of carelessness. But some guitars that have little scratches and stuff, I try not to think about, oh man, that killed the value of that guitar because you got a little scratch down here that nobody's ever going to see or something. So I try not to let it get to me. If I let every little thing get to me down here and trying to save a penny on, every little thing, I'd go crazy. Gerald, I just got back from Austin, Texas, and that city is a big musical hub. I can see why Stevie Ray Vaughan and his brother made it big. Yeah, the only thing I can say about that is I've never been to Austin. I know a lot of the punk bands that come through Phoenix. Austin has always been that big place to go and go play some gigs. Everybody always says, hey man, let's go to Austin and let's go play a gig. I'm pretty sure that the whole Stevie Ray Vaughan thing is a good 20, 30 years old now. Yeah, this is a Wolfgang special. And Stripe series. Gotta love the old Van Halen stuff, right? How awesome was that? How about you know the new movie that came out about the Beatles movie that just came out? What's that one called? What's that Beatles movie that just came out? And it's that whole thing. What if the Beatles never existed? It's called Yesterday. Have you guys seen the trailer? What if the Beatles never existed, but there's one person in the world that knows all the Beatles stuff? And he becomes this famous thing because he's playing Yesterday and all this stuff. What kind of movie would it make if Eddie Van Halen, somebody knew all that? What if Van Halen never existed, but some guy knew all the Van Halen riffs? How cool would that be? You could make the same movie. Just put Eddie Van Halen in place of the Beatles. Logan, you want to play this thing for a second? Hey guys, I got a friend of mine that comes down to the store, and if he wants to join us, I'm going to let him play this thing a little. Grab yourself that bench right there. Yeah, so this is Logan, and we've done, he's been in some of my videos that I do down here, and this kid plays really good. And, there's an old school way of playing guitar, and then there's the young kids that have this new version of how to play guitar. Let me hear you chug on that thing a little bit. There you go. See? See, we got some new ones.
Try not mess it
We
up.
got some new kids out in the world that are chugging along. They got a new way of playing guitar that us old guys, we don't know how to play like this. No, I don't have a phaser pedal going. We're just playing through my little Fender that has some delay and some reverb. Wow. Just tearing it up. Let me ask you a question. So you do a lot of stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you can follow this guy. What? Tell him about your Instagram. You do a lot of guitar work on Instagram.
Yeah, I
How
do.
can they find that?
It's just guitar chugs, no caps, no spaces. Just
Okay, guitar chugs.
Various heavy metal covers. I have an Aussie cover that I'll be posting in a few hours probably.
Cool.
Pretty much anything that I'm just into at the time. I've done other stuff than metal. I think I did an Eminem song a few months ago. That's to try and change it up and get some new audience in.
And what was your what video did you do that had the most views? I would say. Didn't you have some that got into the 10,000?
I got one that got 25,000 or almost
25,000 views.
Probably 30,000 now
on Instagram.
And it was funny because it was when I was back in New York visiting my brother and my dad.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have any of my gear with me. It was playing through some cheap little Marshall solid state. It was just an original riff, but
Guitar Chugs on Instagram, guys.
Yeah.
Try to follow along with him. Super cool. Give us something else. Give us something fast. He's got that fast right hand. That's one thing I can't do. I can't do that fast right hand. There you go. There you go, man. Yeah. So again, guys. Oh, check this out. Arizona Kelly says she saw you over at the Club Red show that you went to the other day.
The Ex Mortis show.
Ex Mortis.
I forgot to mention, but yeah, I've done probably close to 10 interviews with various guys. I did one. The biggest one was with Alex Skolnick of Testament and Phil Demmel. And this is stuff that are you uploading this to YouTube, or are you uploading it are you just doing it on Instagram interviews? I've done Conan from Ex Mortis, some guy from a band called Silvertown, and then the Alex Skolnick and Phil Demmel one. Those are on YouTube. They all go on YouTube.
Okay.
It's the same. There's a link in my bio on Instagram. But
right on.
I did one because I've done a few in person with Chase Becker.
Oh, Arizona Kelly, I'm sorry, you're not a girl. Okay.
But
sorry,
there are other guitarists. Ex Mortis is other guy. I interviewed him at the show, so we've been in touch.
Good for you, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, I've been in touch with those guys for a while. They're pretty cool.
So me being 57 years old and trying to keep this whole guitar stuff alive, this kid is 15 years old now?
Yep.
15 years old, guys. There's still hope in this world.
That's right.
There's still kids like this that shred. Give us a little bit more, man. There you go. There you go. Super cool.
Yep.
So where we would always pay attention to what our left hand is doing, the young generation of players, it's more about what your right hand is doing in those really fast picking techniques that you use.
You have to be a good rhythm player before you're a good lead player.
There you go.
And I like the chunky rhythms anyways.
Right.
A lot more. All my favorite players are rhythm.
Super cool, man.
Yeah, and I have June 1st.
That is a young gun.
Yeah. June 1st,
young
I'll
gun.
be at the same place, Club Red, the Sacred Reich and Violence show.
Sacred Reich.
I think it's Sacred Reich's first tour since like.
Believe it or not, I opened in a band that I was in, opened up for Sacred Reich and Flotsam and Jetsam, and it was spring of 1986.
Yeah. I think they're releasing
a few years ago
their first album.
That was the show
years.
that they got their record deal. It was they got signed after that show.
Well, because their original drummer, Dave McLean, he just left Machine Head, so he's playing with them again.
Oh, wow.
And Phil Demmel just left Machine Head, so he's playing with Violence again. And they haven't played a show in like.
Violence.
Yeah.
I used to have a Violence hat.
Yeah, I got the T-shirt at home, but they haven't played a show in like 16 years.
Right. So some of the new metal bands that are out of the Phoenix area, is there any up and coming, really killer thrash sounding, really good Phoenix stuff?
Phoenix, I don't know many Arizona local bands. Iron Kill's a good one. They've opened up for Ex Mortis.
Okay.
I don't know too many other Phoenix guys, but smaller bands like Ex Mortis, Warbringer.
Sacred Reich still considers themselves an Arizona band, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Sacred Reich.
Yeah, they're all local to Arizona. I think their drummer lives in California, but they're still an Arizona band. So
nice guy Eddie says, I would love to see Overkill again.
I think they're on tour in Europe right now. They just released an album in March.
Europe is big, man. You can actually make a living doing some of those metal shows over in Europe. We're out here in America for some reason. People don't go anymore or whatever.
We don't really have any of the big festivals anyways. Like you have Wacken and Download all in Europe and Germany and all that crazy stuff.
I don't know Kelly Smith, the original drummer of Flotsam. I mean, I've seen him around because I've been a barfly in the Phoenix area for 30 years. So, and we did open for him that one time, and I've seen him and I've seen Jason from Sacred Reich because he used to run sound at the Mason Jar, which is now called the Rebel Lounge. And he used to run sound, or he might still run sound once in a while at Joe's Grotto. So I have run across Jason. And I saw the guitar player. I see the guys around from time to time. So yeah,
I'll be
super cool.
Doing an interview with Wiley Arnett, their lead guitarist. They just got a new guitarist who's like 22 years old.
Wow,
and he's killer. He played at the Metal Allegiance show. Sacred Reich came up and played one song with Phil, and it was great. They were all there, and because they're Phoenix show, I mean, why not?
Super cool, man. Super cool. Glad you're out doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I try to go to as many shows as I can, as often as I can. And PV's pretty good with Chris Kelly over there. It's pretty good with hooking most stuff up.
Eddie says that Europe gets all the good shows. King Diamond. I saw King Diamond open for a Slayer probably maybe 4 years ago at the one of the big events they had here in town.
I just missed the Slayer show, I think like a week ago.
Right.
Which I was pretty bummed, but they'll probably do another reunion or farewell tour in 10 years. Just like Black Sabbath.
Eddie says, yeah, all the good metal festivals are in Europe. But it's not only metal festivals in Europe. They get the old 80s throwback pop music festivals and all that shit. Excuse me. All that stuff that's really good over in Europe. You can put, Bananarama with whoever else and the Go-Go's or whoever.
Yeah.
That show would be, 30,000 or 300,000 people would go to that or something. So
I think Las Vegas is a big metal festival because I know last month Metal Allegiance played there, and then Violence are doing a festival show there because they're doing, I think, only 5 U.S. dates and then a few festival shows.
Are you familiar with do you keep up with any of the 80s punk rock stuff?
I like the Misfits and
okay.
stuff like that, but I don't really listen to too
Eddie,
much
you're
punk
big
rock.
into the punk rock stuff, aren't you? Nice guy Eddie. Oh, he used to be in a Misfits cover band. Isn't that what you were telling me? He says I'd go see Bananarama and the Go-Go's.
My friend who I'm actually who lives back in New York, and I'm trying to get some kind of music thing going on with him. His dad Harley plays in the Cro-Mags. He's their bass player and singer, and
I've heard of those guys.
Yeah, and his mom, I call her my aunt because we're close, knows tons of guys. Phil Anselmo, just friends with all these guys. So Doyle is like their guitarist for the Misfits is like an uncle to them. So I'm surprised I've never met them because I'm always hanging out with them. But
right, yeah. After a while, man, if you keep doing this, you'll end up meeting everybody. You'll forget who you met.
Yeah, that's
you'll
why
meet so many people, you'll forget who they all were.
I've been printing out all the pictures I take at shows, so I don't forget.
Good for you, man. That is super cool.
Yeah, trying to build.
We got a kid here that is really into this.
I think I met Alice Cooper back at Ike's Sandwich. He was doing over by the In-N-Out in the Fiesta Mall. He was doing a signing there.
I think there's a Hollywood Vampires show the next day or so, or maybe it's Alice and the Aerosmith guy and Pirates of the Caribbean guy.
Yeah, but yeah, I actually have a
Joe
$100 LTD, like the Super
Joe
Strat
Perry
with Alice's signature on it. It was the first guitar
I got an Alice signed bass over there.
Yeah, I never play it. It had some pickup problems. I don't want to mess up the signature, but then I actually at the Metal Allegiance show, because I did the interview with Alex and Phil backstage, and we were talking, and then when I was leaving, I saw Dave Ellison from Megadeth walking in his car because he lives in Scottsdale.
He does.
So I went up and talked to him and got a picture of him.
We got a lot of guys that live here. Thankfully, our weather is nice, and a lot of guys enjoy living here. So it's pretty cool. Mark's asking me, hey, do you have any JCM 800s right now in my shop? And I do have one. It's the brand new 20-watt JCM 800, and it's a consignment piece. But I have the 20-watt version of it. It's small, it's brand new, it's still under warranty, and it sounds great. So
not too loud.
Nice guy Eddie says he saw DRI in the Exploited one time.
I've heard actually my back in New York. Well, it's funny. We don't really know if he's my uncle or not because he's the same last name. And there's so many people with the last name Ryan back in New York. But I call my uncle. He actually plays drums for DRI right now. He's been playing drums for him for a long time.
And you think he's your uncle? You're not quite sure?
It's because his family is also named Ryan. And back in Troy, my hometown, there's so many Ryans. Some of the more distant ones, you think they're your family, but you're not completely sure. So, but
yeah,
my uncle. So, but he played drums for Machine Head on the Burn My Eyes tour back in '95, I think, with Slayer and Pantera. So that was definitely some other music in the family.
That is super cool, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Super cool. Well, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. But thank you guys for watching. We got 12 people on right now. That is pretty cool. I really appreciate you guys watching. I might go live out of my house Sunday afternoon sometime if I'm up for it. And give us something to take us out on, man. Give us something heavy here. Bye, guys. Rico, I think I'll be on Sunday. Kelly, sorry I called you a chick, man. Sorry, buddy. Later, Gerald. See you guys next time.